After 14 seasons with the Lakers and 4 at UCLA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of LA's most famous landmarks. But he first earned national recognition in New York, where he led Power Memorial High School to a 95-6 record, including a 71-game winning streak. The Tower of Power is back tonight, where his career began in New York.
Bob Neal and Rick Barry with you at Madison Square Garden. You see the sellout crowd here and the media gathered in the center of the floor. And it's because this is the first stop of 25 on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goodbye tour to the NBA in 1988. He's competing in his unprecedented 20th NBA season. The all-time NBA leader in points, games, minutes, field goals made, field goals attempted, block shots, personal fouls. And you can go on and on with the information about Abdul-Jabbar because he has been there so long. He has not only the great personal skills, but he has the endurance, which most people will agree is the true test of what is really the best athlete. 20th NBA season, the lone 6-time NBA most valuable player, NBA Finals MVP, 14 years apart in 1971 and in 1985. And to put it in perspective, Knicks rookie Rod Strickland was 3 years old when Kareem played in his first NBA game. He's the only active NBA player, as a matter of fact, who played in the previous Madison Square Garden. He did so while he was in high school here in New York at Power Memorial. He made his debut in the present Garden while he was playing at UCLA, and the NBA debut came at the Garden on November 1st, 1969. Their ceremonies are about ready in the center of the court now. And the man who's going to be the master of ceremonies is the voice of the Knicks, Marv Albert. He will be directing the ceremonies for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as he says goodbye in his last regular season visit to Madison Square Garden in New York.
And tonight we pay tribute to one of New York City's own and one of the NBA's all-time greats. In saluting a spectacular career which has spanned 3 decades and from coast to coast, a career full of a host of milestones, we are joined tonight by several special guests to say thanks for the memories. First, Kareem, let's meet your very first coach at St. Jude's in Inwood, who carried your birth certificate to prove a 6'8" young man was indeed in grade school, the Deacon Farrell Hopkins. Back in 1962, you first stepped on a Madison Square Garden court, a freshman on his way to national acclaim at Power Memorial Academy, right in the heart of Manhattan. So joining us tonight are 7 teammates from your days at Power Memorial. A guy that played alongside you in your very first high school season, Power class of '63, Joe Straining. The only sophomore on your '64 senior team who went on to play at St. Bonaventure, Ed Klimkowski. A member of the front line on the 1963 undefeated team, Jack Bettridge. And the starting guards from the '64 and '65 teams, say hello to John Bonner and Paul Horton. And the captain of the undefeated Power squad, Oscar Sanchez. And rounding out your former mates in attendance tonight, a man who grew up in your old neighborhood and another catalyst on the undefeated '64 Power champions, longtime friend Art Kenny. Well, after 4 brilliant seasons as a collegiate at UCLA, Kareem burst upon the NBA in 1969 as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, and just 1 season later helped lead the Bucks to the NBA title. Kareem's first pro coach, and a man who was actually here for his first game at the Garden as a member of the Syracuse Nationals. Let's greet Larry Costello. And here's a man who was a high school opponent at Linton High in Schenectady, New York. Your present coach, 3-time head coach of the world champion Los Angeles Lakers, Pat Riley. And tonight would not be complete without acknowledging two very special people, Kareem's parents, Al and Cora Alcindor. Tonight's guest of honor in his unprecedented 20th and final NBA season, six-time NBA Most Valuable Player, six-time member of NBA championship teams, the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. Let's say thanks for all his contributions to the game with one last Madison Square Garden salute to the master of the skyhook, future Hall of Famer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Right now, we call on the co-captains of the New York Knicks, Mark Jackson and Patrick Ewing, with two special gifts for a very special player. Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing. First, symbolizing the Big Apple, New York City, presented by Mark, and inscribed to one of New York's own, from New York's team, a one-of-a-kind sterling silver Big Apple. And presented by Patrick Ewing, another number 33 uniform jerseys from your championship teams on the high school, college, and professional levels, all uniforms which you wore here at Madison Square Garden, carrying the inscription to Kareem, always a champion. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you very much. This is very, what can I say? I've been dealing with this since the season ended last year. I've been trying to think of something appropriate, something that would work. And, you know, what can you say at a moment like this? But unfortunately or fortunately, I have to say something. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for what you've shown for me here tonight. It's really hard for me to take because some of you old-timers probably know I've had some tough moments here, and you were the cause of that. But on the other side, tonight, you're responsible for something very wonderful and very special. I want to thank each and every one of you for that tonight. My first real memory of coming to the Garden is when it was on 8th Avenue, and my dad used to take me down to the rodeo. I was only 5 or 6 years old, and Ike was still president, and a whole lot of things have changed since then. But I've always enjoyed coming here. I enjoyed the challenge when we had to play the very tough Knick teams, and it looks like this year there's going to be another very tough Knick team that will be in the playoffs. So I'm gonna steal a few words from a song by James Brown called "Maybe the Last Time." It may be the last time we shake hands. It may be the last time we make plans. But whatever happens, thank you from the bottom of my heart. One last thing that I would like to do. I know that the United Way is in the middle of its New York drive, and its fundraising drive, and I'd like to contribute something to that on behalf of myself and LA Gear, who I represent. So we're going to give the Knicks a check for $1,000 for the United Way New York Fund. I hope you folks can get behind it. And again, thank you very much. You're the greatest.
New York says goodbye to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're going back to our studios. Craig Sager in Atlanta will be back here for the second half in just a moment.